southeastern United States. But no need to worry for Georgia Tech. The Jackets are ready for their home opener on Grant Field as they welcome Jacksonville State to Bobby Dodd Stadium. Can Taquan Marshall lead his team to victory after a tough Monday night loss to Tennessee? We get that answer on a September college football Saturday. Jacksonville State out of the OVC as our coverage of ACC is presented by your local Ford dealer. And while they run out behind the Model A Ford, we welcome you upstairs on the west side for the third meeting all time between the Yellow Jackets and the Gamecocks, and their first since 2009. With James Bates, West Durham, you'll meet Rebecca Capel in just a moment. Well, very disappointing double overtime loss on Monday night to Georgia Tech. No way to overcome that in some respects, but the plug-and-play capability of Paul Johnson's offense was on full display against the Volunteers.
Mid-season form, even just a couple blocks over. The University of Tennessee defense, they still haven't stopped this offense. The only thing that stopped them, as cliche as it sounds, themselves. A couple fumbles, a turnover were the difference in this game. Look at that, 86 rushes, almost 24 minutes they held the ball longer than Tennessee did. They couldn't finish it off, and you know what? Taquan Marshall, how was there ever a question as to who is going to run this show? Well, you talk about looking in midseason form. He looked like a 3-year vet running this system, and tough. The numbers that you don't see, I think the things you don't see, what stand out to me the most, the toughness and the leadership that this first-time starter displayed when he was over there at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. ACC records going down, Georgia Tech records going down. Paul Johnson's got to be really happy with his play.
Well, while you know what happened Monday night, the very disappointing and heartbreaking loss for the Jackets, that's the physical story. The mental story, Rebecca, is an entirely different challenge for Paul Johnson and his staff here today.
Absolutely, Wes. The Yellow Jackets are going to need to feed off of the excitement from their home crowd here this afternoon, because they have had just 4 days to prepare for this game after that physical and emotional loss on Monday night. Coach Paul Johnson, obviously not too thrilled with this schedule. He had to alter his entire week of practice just to get his guys back on track. Tuesday they watched film. Wednesday they practiced for an hour and a half, and on Thursday just an hour. Coach Johnson told us it is still hard for him to grasp Monday's loss, but they've got to deal with a tough opponent here this afternoon, and they cannot allow Tennessee to beat them twice, guys.
And in Jacksonville State, they meet the number 5 team in the country and a pair of home run hitters, James, one on either side of the ball.
Yeah, offense, they saw a great back on Monday night, especially in the second half, in Tennessee's Kelly. Well, it doesn't get any easier. The transfer from Auburn, Rock Thomas, the senior, can go and get downhill in a hurry. Very athletic and a very tough back. And speaking of athleticism and toughness, well, defensively, they've got the same problem with number 40 over on the edge. All over the place against UTC last weekend in the opener. A nice win for Jacksonville State. He's a big-time playmaker, but this is a different kind of offense. I'm really anxious to see number 40 play with that Derek Thomas cowboy collar on, running around big playmaker, because it doesn't always translate playing defense against this offense. It's definitely a curveball that you face when you play Paul Johnson's offense.
Well, Jacksonville State last year in 2009. And Georgia Tech, of course, played them the year before. Paul Johnson's first ever ball game as head coach of the Jackets was against the Gamecocks out of the Ohio Valley Conference. And the opening kick, Cates the net, he just dribbles it along the ground, and the Jackets will field it cleanly at about the 35-yard line. And that's where Taquan Marshall will get started on the return by T.D. Roof. And here is Kervonte Benson, our hearty star to watch, James, and quite a debut for Benson as his starting debut on Monday night as the B-back for Georgia Tech.
Absolutely. That fullback right there running downhill in a hurry. He gets on you, and there's his numbers on Monday night. The one number that you don't see up there, the number 10. He had 10 knockdowns. Remember, you got to block if you want to be in this show on the offensive side of the ball for the Jackets.
Base look on first down, and Marshall wants to throw. flush from the pocket to his left. 10 and 15, maybe 16 yards for Taquan Marshall on the first play of the game. Actually into Jacksonville State territory at the 47. It ends up being 18 yards before Darius Jackson chased him out.
Well, play action pass, which you got a little bit. Usually you get truly vanilla early in the game just so Paul Johnson can see what they're going to give him, what look on the defensive side of the ball, a lot like they did against Tennessee for their first couple series. And making their adjustments, they go with a play pass right off the bat, nothing there, and a good job by the quarterback Marshall to tuck it and go get a first down. That's
one of the A-backs, Searcy in motion, and here's Cravante Benson picking up a couple of yards. Dalton Campbell, the defensive end, crashed down to make the play on the young man from Marietta. So Taquan Marshall from Harrison, Georgia, and Harris County High School. His 13th career game, just his second start at quarterback. Originally positioned at A-back when he arrived on the Georgia Tech campus. He blasted off on Monday night down the street at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Second down and 8. You see the shift from Jacksonville State defensively. Here comes Marshall, blind pitch, and Searcy to the edge. Quay Searcy a first down. And a flag thrown as Searcy's knocked out of bounds at the Gamecock 24-yard line. There are 2 flags on the play. Marlon Bridges finally edged him out. And here's our referee, Jeff Flanagan, today, as assigned by the Atlantic Coast Conference.
Well, a shame this was going to come back. How natural is Marshall when he flips that ball? We saw it a couple times in the Tennessee game.
Number 8.
Unfortunately for Georgia Tech.
Second down.
It's going back the other way. But even there, as he was hit immediately, it's one thing to go out on the edge and pitch. See the holding right there.
And Jalen Camp, the wide receiver, against Saron Neal, the outstanding corner. A couple of different wrinkles already, though, James, for Georgia Tech offensively. Marshall wants to look and throw. Going to hang it up for Ricky June. And overthrown incomplete. It'll be 3rd down and 7 down.
Well, a good job by an offensive line that's got some experience and maybe one of the best, arguably the best that Paul Johnson, we'll see when season's end comes around, has had since he's been here. And they're healthy. There was a chance they might not see the center, Kenny Cooper, today, but he's out there starting. Good protection there on 2nd down, and now here's a 3rd down and long.
Yep. Jackets were 13 of 18 on Monday night. And here is Marshall. Nobody there. Busted play. Busted play. Jonathan Hagler, Quan Stoudemire, the 2 linebackers, rally to the football, and Jacksonville State gets a stop.
We mentioned Jackson off the top, but Hagler and Stoudemire freeze it right there. And who's missing? Well, it's Searcy. And Searcy, if you watch away from the ball after this play, he puts his hands on his face. So without a doubt, sometimes you can't tell from the booth, but without a doubt, Quay Searcy's fault right there. And you know what? How many times have we seen already Marshall pitch it blindly?
Yeah.
And he didn't let it go there. And so many times he does, just knowing that his back will be there.
Presley Harvin to punt it to DeMontez Terry, who signals for and makes a falling fair catch of it right at about the 11-yard line. So that's where Jacksonville State will get started after Georgia Tech got a 36-yard punt after the Jackets ran about 6 plays on their opening drive. And we get our first look today, James, at a fascinating story. Redshirt junior from Alexander City, Alabama, by the name of Brian Horn.
Yeah, it's one thing. Taquan Marshall came in and he started as an A-back. All right, that's kind of normal, same side of the ball. Well, Brian Horn was told he'll never play quarterback at this level. He just wanted to play, so he was a linebacker. He was a safety. He was a special teams guy forever.
Horn wants to throw on 1st down. This is Terry, and he'll sneak up toward the 20 for a gain of 9 on 1st down. Victor Alexander, Brant Mitchell, pair of linebackers get to the football for Georgia Tech.
Couple interceptions in the first time out as a starter last week for Horn. One was overthrown across the middle. He likes those middle routes, the slants. He throws hard and accurate. Another one was tipped in the win over Chattanooga. But this is truly a leader of this football team, a pretty good quarterback.
Little delay. Thomas trying to get started on the ground, and Rock Thomas We'll have the first down to the 23. Lawrence Alston. Georgia Tech plays mostly a nickel-based look defensively under their coordinator, Ted Root.
I'm telling you, north and south, and he can make things work. And what I like about Rock Thomas is when he makes his cuts, he's moving forward. He's always moving forward. Even in that spin, he's moving forward and makes it very tough on the defense.
Empty set now for Horn. 1st and 10 for Jacksonville State. Horn lost a handle on it, and it was ruled a fumble. Brent Mitchell held up a little bit, thinking maybe that the ball would be ruled incomplete. It was not. They're going to call it a fumble.
Man, lucky to get that one back, Coach Cross. It's the only guy who even gave it a chance of being a fumble. Looked like his hand was hit as he came back through. Was Horn.
Yeah.
The Yellow Jackets got to treat them all as a fumble. It's, wait until let the refs decide.
Ends up picking up a couple yards. Boy, pretty good pressure by the Jackets, who had a hard time getting to Tennessee in the second half on Monday night, James. They'll flip it to Terry. He'll try and find an alley. And Tech swarms to the football. Antonio Simmons, 93 off the edge. And so now, very quickly, 3rd down. Jacksonville State, by the way, James, 8th a year ago in the OVC, 83rd nationally at 34%, despite averaging 31 points a game. They were just 6 of 14 against Chattanooga in their opener 2 weeks ago. Wind whipping around on Grant Field as we get started from Atlanta.
Looks like the Jackets were coming, and they're calling it off now.
Yep. Snap to Horn. Across the middle and dropped. Intended for Jamari Hester. The 6'7" wide receiver, Steph Durham, the corner, was following him.
Yeah, he was following him. That's an operative word there, and that's one that Horn's got to hit. It's one thing, say, oh, I'm kind of new, but that's the easiest throw for a quarterback is right across the middle, and that's where he had his trouble on the interception last week against Chattanooga. Threw it too high on a slant route.
Brad Stewart waiting on the punt here, James. And we'll signal for and make the fair catch at the 39. We'll get to a break in Atlanta. About 5 minutes and 15 seconds into our opening period. Each school's had it once. Picked up a first down, but punted. We'll continue with ACC football right after you see this. ACC football is brought to you by the Works Hydro Shot, the first portable power cleaner. Ready, aim, clean. A look inside the Kim King football locker room. Underneath the north stands at Bobby Dodd Stadium, named for the former Yellow Jacket great and outstanding Atlanta business leader who passed away 13 years ago next month. First down give, and this is Benson battling through for about 6 yards before he got turned back by Stoudemire, the linebacker. Interesting to visit with John Gross and his staff this week, James, in particular the co-DC David Blackwell, who was on Tommy Bowden's staff at Clemson, about how they would defend the spread option that Georgia Tech employs and what they thought some of the nuances were they were going to have to try and simulate this week. He's pretty candid, though. They've been working on it a while. And here is Benson on a little counter, and that'll be enough for the first down for about midfield having a strong side backer to stop.
Yeah, well, when you get a little extra time, you hear it ad nauseum whenever Georgia Tech's playing, especially bowl game or something, but you can always use a little bit of extra time when you're getting ready for this different offense when you don't see it that much. And usually you'll use a scout team. A high school kid that ran it in high school. Instead, they use Owen Kilgore, the quarterback coach, and John Bullen, a GA there at Jacksonville State, because they ran the offense in high school, gave them helmets, and told the kids time after time, do not hit your coaches.
Timeout taken by Marshall. We saw this a couple of times on Monday night. Still that line of communication with the head coach and the quarterback, and even when you run the plays in, as Paul Johnson does, you still get a bump or two in the road. No score from Atlanta as we continue.
We're out of the office, but that doesn't mean you're not.
Jameis Winston, Florida State University.
Lamar Jackson of the University of Louisville.
End zone, jump ball, touchdown! Florida State rules the BCS.
Watson, touchdown! Clemson Tigers, new kings of college football.
All right, the visitors from Jacksonville State. They got to do it. Rock on, Rock Thomas. They've got to get him going. Lean on the big back for Georgia Tech. Tub thumping. Like Chubbawamba.
Yeah.
The group, the early 90s. I get knocked down, but I get up again. They got to get right back up after that tough loss in a short week because this is a good team. There's a heck of a play. Penetration immediately by Darius Jackson.
Well, we told you he's an outstanding player, and that time he came from the backside to track Marshall down on the option.
You can't run away from them. So you'll see teams throughout this season trying to run. You saw it last week a few times against Chattanooga. Well, hey, let's run away from him. Well, you better slow him up because he's too quick. He'll flatten out, come straight down that line, and cover a lot of ground. Big playmaker.
Second in the full 10. Marshall wants to throw it again. Now going to reset, throw, caught. Clinton Lynch back in the lineup. First down inside the 20. Saran Neal knocked him out of bounds, but Lynch, who was a big play waiting to happen last year, 43 touches, averaged 21 yards a touch, and scored 8 times, James.
It starts with that offensive line. Lynch had to come all the way across the field. They cross him up. Darius Jackson was actually on the coverage, switched off, took his guys out to the flat up top. Nobody was there for Lynch. Welcome back, 22. Nice big play to put him in the red zone.
No score. The Jackets threatened as we're halfway home in quarter number 1, and Benson got flipped over there, and crashing down was E.J. Moss, playing the defensive end spot opposite of Darius Jackson. And John Gross, at 49 years of age, from Asheville, Alabama, looking on.
Impressed with his offensive line here in the Tennessee game and early on today, Wes.
That's Cottrell in motion. Here's the toss play. Jackson there defensively, and he gets a hold of Nathan Cottrell. Pulls him down. Redshirt senior, Bessemer, Alabama's Darius Jackson, and Georgia Tech's in the CPI security red zone where they were there a bunch. The other night against Tennessee, 6 touchdowns, 7 possessions. Last year, 41 possessions, just 25 touchdowns, and a conversion rate of 61%.
How about Darius Jackson?
Yeah, really runs, James. Here's Marshall looking to throw. Pressure coming. And he'll be banged out of bounds going out over there. And it's Traco Williams, the safety. So Tech gets into the red zone, and Jacksonville State responds nicely. One play by Jackson, that one in fast pursuit from Williams.
Well, with the exception of losing Lynch across the middle, the secondary has done a pretty good job for Jacksonville State against the pass. And here's one of those physical safeties, 2 very physical safeties on Coach Gross's team. And Draco just, again, open field, decides he's going to go make the play. Don't give him a chance to give you a shake in open field and make a tackle.
Sean Davis, everybody knows, missed 47 and 37 on Monday night. This is from 35. And he pushes it straight through, and Georgia Tech's got the lead. So Davis's 35-yard field goal has given us the game's first points. Georgia Tech 3, Jacksonville State nothing as we continue from Atlanta.
When I grow up, I want to make cars fly, soaring through the air like a rocket.
We all grow up, but you might say my head's still in the clouds. Because at Coke, my team and I dream up new technologies to make cars more aerodynamic, which improves fuel economy. It's a challenge, but this is what I was born to do.
State and South Florida, Connecticut were road games for Florida-based teams.
Yeah, well, how about Florida State? Gosh, they could have really used a warm-up for Miami with a brand-new quarterback. Hate to see Francois go down with a knee injury.
Yep. Davis
lost to Alabama.
Davis's kick to the back of the end zone, and Jacksonville State will start as 25. And to that effect, our Toyota Tweet of the Week also has to do with the red carpet, or gold carpet in their case, I'm sure they'd like us to tell you, being rolled out by Georgia Tech. Anyone evacuating to the Atlanta area from Hurricane Irma, free tickets being offered to the Jacksonville State Georgia Tech game here today. And likewise, the same hospitality being offered up the road tonight, where Kennesaw out of the Big South and FCS has done the same thing as well.
Did I hear right? Are the Braves doing it too?
I think that's right too. Yep. Some sort of discount involved. Yep.
Tomorrow, the Rockies in town.
Here is Horn now on a 3-0 lead for Georgia Tech. Second possession for the Gamecocks. And that'll be a free play here for Horn, and he just tucks and drops, and he'll lose a yard, but I think there'll be an offside call against Antonio Simmons.
Offside, defense, number 93, 5-yard penalty, first down.
First penalty on the Georgia Tech defense, Rebecca.
Oh, okay. Hi. Yeah, you guys were talking about the tickets being distributed to those hurricane evacuees. I was told about an hour before kickoff, Tech had already distributed more than 600 tickets to today's game. So hopefully fans will be able to enjoy the game and keep their mind off of that storm.
Absolutely. Thank you. 1st and 5 after the penalty. Thomas on the play fake, and Horn falls forward for 4. It'll be 3rd and short. Simmons again making the play for Georgia Tech. He plays with Desmond Branch up front. Kyle Surge Henderson was going to be a game-time decision Monday night. He ended up having a lower body injury, is the word from the Georgia Tech sports medical folks, and they were going to try and get him ready.
See how Horn rides that read, and not afraid to go mix it up. He's used to things right there in the middle of the tackle box. But from the other side, when he played linebacker, 25 career tackles for the quarterback. Still played special teams, all of them as a backup last year at quarterback.
2nd and short. Thomas the first down.
You know, Wes, you mentioned it, the couple misses on Monday night, and just, you felt so bad for the kid and Sean Davis, and went right to break, but, we got to watch that again. I'm so happy for 88, and then happy for Georgia Tech. They needed that to happen. This kid's a good kicker, and it sure is nice to see that smile over there.
Yeah, Paul Johnson told us yesterday in our visit, it's been a tough couple days for Sean Davis. First down for Horn in Jacksonville State. Here come the Jackets, and he'll be brought down. Henri St. Amour, junior defensive end from North Gwinnett High School, pulls down Brian Horn.
Right, little bit late getting there for Mitchell, but still flushes him out, and St. Horn does a great job using his hands and shedding the blocker. You see him separate and go make it. La, 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 la,
I knew it. I just couldn't let it go, could you?
It's just like my Sharia Moore, Stevie Wonder. I couldn't help it.
I know.
And I can't stop once I've started. It stinks.
2nd and 14 for the Gamecocks. Thomas in the backfield. And they'll hand it to the big back. And out to the 38 goes Rock Thomas. Brant Mitchell makes the stop on the young man who started his career at Auburn but played for John Gross at Oxford High School, where Gross went 41-6 from 2008 to 2012 as the head coach, James.
Faced his coach when he was at Auburn. He caught the game winner to beat Jacksonville State in the tight one a couple years back. Big 3rd down and long now for the Gamecocks here. They got to make it up to the 48-yard line to move the chains.
Horn going to get in the gun. 5 on the play clock. Here's a little screen. Thomas, who had a big play against Chattanooga, breaks free here on 1st down. James, he was lethal in the screen game in their opener 2 weeks ago, and that time 19 yards.
I'm telling you, he's a good back. He's got good hands, doesn't have to have great hands. Here it's just a nice little hand it to him. And how about the big guys up front leading the charge? Defensively, though, Ted Roof needs to round up these guys. Hey, it's 3rd down and long. Who is their playmaker? Who's the playmaker that's going to get them a 1st down when they need it most on this team? You can't let them sneak out the gate right there. You got to snuff out that screen. They did a good job on it a couple times against Tennessee defending it.
Under 2 minutes, Thomas firing through. Almost 8 yards on 1st down with Rock Thomas.
You see what I mean, Wes? How he gets going north and south right now, and he's a load to bring down. It's such a lean, and there you see, you look back over the years with him, caught that game winner, and it just really left Auburn because he wanted to get more carries. He wanted to be the guy, and he's back with his high school coach, as you mentioned. But look at the backs. They start with Kelly, Tennessee. Thomas. Mark Walton comes through in a couple weeks from Miami.
Yep.
Olson at Pitt. Nick Chubb at Georgia to end the season for Georgia Tech.
Horn wants to throw. 2nd and short. Near side. Catch is made. That's Crenwick Sanders. Transfer from Wisconsin by way of Jessup, Georgia, and he's got a 1st down. So now all of a sudden, Jacksonville State converts the 3rd down, and they get a little rhythm and bounce to what they're doing in the two-way game here, James.
Absolutely they do. It's so huge that they can complete some of these passes, that they're not one-dimensional. But I still think that the true key to the game is to get Rock Thomas going, get him rolling, and that opens up everything else. It's kind of like offensively for Georgia Tech. One thing works, and they all seem to work.
Thomas and Terry in the backfield. Play fake. Horn wants to throw. Thomas just beyond the reach and incomplete. He had gotten into the back end of the coverage. Jalen Johnson was following for Georgia Tech over there in front of Lance Austin.
Just misses him again. You got to find 6. Where is he every time? Horn just a little bit too strong. You know, he threw one earlier behind on the slant that would have converted for a 1st down, and here he'd like to have that one back too. Had plenty of time and plenty of space. Nobody around Thomas.
2nd and the full 10 for Jacksonville State. At the Georgia Tech 29. Final half minute of this opening period. And a timeout, I believe, yes. Clock was winding down, and
timeout, Jacksonville State. 1st timeout of the half. The timeout will be 30 seconds.
And John Gross huddles his group. Now in his 4th season, 3 times the Roy Kidd Ohio Valley Conference Coach of the Year. And he's 34-6. I think you win 3 times as well if you're 34-6 in your first 40 games. And you look at the top 5. I mean, everybody knows about the Bison. James Madison, boy, Mike Houston, who we saw a couple of years ago coaching the Citadel, won the national championship last year at Madison. His team beat East Carolina last week, James, to open the season, did the Dukes.
You know, and there may be football fans out there that don't know a whole heck of a lot about Jacksonville State, maybe even geographically, where, you know, hey, poor guys have to deal with the hurricane and come play up here. They're from Alabama, and they're good. And they know they're good, and really to them, you get a sense that's all that matters. We know who we are. We know our style. It's physical. They get a lot of guys that transfer in. And Coach Cross admitted he misses the high school feel, and he tries to get that where he can really help these kids become better young men.
Here is Thomas. And Georgia Tech, a good job there, slowing down Rock Thomas after 3 yards. Step Durham coming in from the corner spot. And this will be this is the 10th play of the drive coming up.
We've talked about it, Wes. Short week. We've talked about can't hang your head.
Right.
They're beat up a little bit, too. It was a physical game. It was a game where in the second half they got a little bit tired. They better these next 3 quarters. Rock Thomas isn't going to stop.
Yep. Well, it's a team also that's working from an advantage in terms of scheduling. Georgia Tech's playing uphill maybe against the calendar. Not the case for the Gamecocks. 3-0 at the close of 1 in Atlanta. We'll welcome you back in just a moment.
And the winner is Jameis Winston, Florida State University.
Lamar Jackson of the University of Louisville.
End zone, jump ball, touchdown, Florida State rules the BCS.
Watson, touchdown! Clemson Tigers, new kings of college football.
I love my mom. My mom. I love my kids. My kids. My job. Taking care of everybody, every day. My mom, my kids, my job. Yes. When I'm at work, when I'm at home. I could just really use some help sometimes.
Hey, we hear you. That's why AARP helps family caregivers with connections to experts and resources like our Prepare to Care Guide. Because we get it.
If you don't think this is right for me when you think AARP, then you don't know ARP.
Get your free guide at aarp.org/possibilities.
The rush yards and the pass yards, and a lot of similarities, James, in what we're looking at here. Time of possession, Jacksonville State's been able to hold on to the ball, and they start quarter 2 with their 10th play of this drive.
Empty. Thomas is at the bottom there in the middle of the 3 receivers at the bottom of your screen, number 6.
Horn against pressure, flushed out. He can run for it and will. And the toughness of the converted safety shows there as he steps out near the 18, and that will be enough for the first down.
Good, smart decision. Knew he could get to the sticks. Good coverage down the field. You just can't let him outside there.
Well, how about a job by the left tackle, Clark Lee, to hold off Antonio Simmons, James, who was rushing in. Lee making his 41st career start today. He's a FCS All-America a year ago.
Simmons got to keep that outside shoulder free. Keep them bottled up where your buddies are there to help you.
Play fake Horn. He'll keep it. And Brant Mitchell hits him first.
How about Horn, the leader? You saw his reaction after that first down. They moved the chains. Here he goes. I mean, he's a guy, if that's your quarterback, you can't help but get fired up and want to play for him. Last year, so 2 springs ago, they needed help because there were some injuries. They needed him to fill back in at his high school position and play quarterback. So he was so good, he became the 2nd-string quarterback immediately. And coach wanted to maybe take him off the special teams, the quarterback coach. And Gross said, no way. Yeah, the kid just wants to play, be out there on the field. I'm not going to take that away from him just because he's our backup quarterback now. So special teams all last year, and you see the toughness just on those last 2 plays.
2nd down and 5. He'll throw now. This is Terry stepping away. And inside the 10. Close to a 1st and goal to go for Jacksonville State. Lance Austin was the guy he was able to shake out in the flat for Tez Terry.
Got to come under control, Austin. Early, come under control, break down. Use that sideline as your friend. You can't go for the okey-doke and let him come back underneath with that angle. And Paul Johnson can't be too fired up, especially about this drive. Thomas has really started getting lathered up the back for Jacksonville State. It will be another first down here inside the 10. But I said to you as we went to the break, hey, I get it. Short week. Yep. You're banged up. Man, you lost a tough one. What a punch in the gut to Tennessee. Nobody else outside of Atlanta, nobody else but your coaches are telling you how good Jacksonville State is because it's not Miami. I get it. But you know what? They better be ready to go because you're going to get the same stuff from Horn and from Thomas all day long. Defensively, they're going to have to step up and get physical and make these plays and treat this like this is a battle for the Coastal.
First and goal, Thomas. Cut down shy of the 5 or at the 5. Corey Griffin, the strong safety, took out Rock Thomas there. 7 years ago, Jacksonville State beat Ole Miss at Vaught Hemingway, James. And you mentioned earlier the near upset they pulled at Jordan-Hare a couple of years ago. So this is not unfamiliar territory, slugging it out with a power 5. Second and goal. Horn looks left. And caught and stretching in is Sanders for the touchdown. Well thrown ball, and Crenwick Sanders makes a nice play of it, James.
Hey, I wish this linebacker could throw like that. You talk about threading the needle. I mean, this is the only spot that his guy can catch it. And an excellent job. There's the effort to reach out and stretch across that goal line. And the passing game has been there. Yeah, you gotta worry about Thomas. But time and time again, a little bit soft in the coverage and way too soft right there near the goal line.
14 plays, 75 yards, better than 8 minutes, James, and that's part of the recipe when you battle Georgia Tech. Can you win time of possession? Stinnett's point after is good, and the Gamecocks have the lead in Atlanta.
You give up the B-back, let him get tackled. That's all part of the plan, but not that deep.
Again, the dive with Benson, and it'll be third and long. Georgia Tech has missed on both their third down tries here so far this afternoon. Jackets are rolled up. 655 yards on Monday night. 535 on the ground. Marshall was 5 of 9 throwing the ball.
They ran it 86 times.
Yeah.
Third and long, last chance. They kept it on the ground. See if they go to the air right here.
Base set. Marshall comes back on the counter. Trying to get to the edge. And Jackson will take him down. Maybe a yard on the play. So Darius Jackson is living up to the pregame billing.
Wes, over the last 3 years, we've had some great defensive ends that we've called, and we've had some great ones that have played against Georgia Tech, and it never fails. We pump them up, and what happens? Georgia Tech comes out, starts cutting them. They don't like to bend. This isn't my contract. You know, this isn't my style of football. I'm not going to play it next week. I won't play it on Sundays in the NFL.
Presley Harvin thinking about faking it and then tucks it away and kicks it. And not bad.
No, that'll work.
Yeah.
But just to finish, Darius Jackson, West, that's not the case for number 40. I was anxious to see if he was ready to play today. I'll say if so far in this game is any indication. You don't see that very often.
Horn, first down. He'll keep it on the read, and Victor Alexander pulls him down at 17. So it'll be a gain of 4 and make it second down and 6. Georgia Tech, by their standard, felt good about what they did defensively first half on Monday night.
Yes.
It was the second half that is most concerning to the coordinator, Ted Roof, and obviously that man, 10th-year head coach Paul Johnson.
But there were still some flashes in the second half that, hey, this is going to be maybe one of the better defenses we've seen for Georgia Tech in a while.
Yep.
But you're right, a couple missed tackles and a couple just not as physical as they were in the first 2 quarters, and it seems early on here anyway it's carried over a little bit.
Here's Thomas barreling ahead. And he will come up a couple of yards short of the first down. So 3rd and let's call it 2, Rebecca.
Well, guys, you're watching Taquan Marshall with the headphones on, but before that, he was standing on the sidelines hovering over his team saying, it's our game, pick it up. Why is everyone down? It's ours. We got to pick it up and get back out there. It's still early.
Yeah, Rebecca, I was really impressed just watching him. The shots we got of him on Monday night on the sidelines, you could tell that he's the leader of this team, that he's taken over this team, and he leads the charge.
Sideline warning, Georgia Tech. There's no penalty on the play. This is a warning.
That's the first we've seen of that. And won't be the last we see this year. That's a point of emphasis this year in college football, is the sideline conduct and positioning of every team. 3rd down.
This is a big play. Ted Roof's defense needs to stuff them right here and get off of the field.
Horn wants to throw out in the flat. Thomas. Incomplete. Corey Griffin was the guy that crashed into Thomas, and then Lawrence Austin actually got a hand on the ball. They went right to that flat play again, James. It's amazing how valuable Thomas is in the throw game for them.
Well, it took them one series. They didn't have him on their radar. Don't know why in the first quarter, but here they certainly do. 3rd down, playmaker, there he is. We're all around him, swarm, as they like to call it around here. And Horn and Jacksonville State lucky that it's not 6 points the other way.
First time we've seen the Aussie Dean Kelly punt today. End over end kick at Stewart. Looking for the 50. There's a flag thrown in on the play, and that's usually on the receiving team. And just ahead of 7 minutes to go in this first half, and the Gamecocks holding the 4-point lead on Georgia Tech.
Here in the return, illegal block in the back, receiving team number 52. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Penalty against the linebacker Terrell Lewis, 37-yard punt. And there's a look at the...
Rebecca said that she was talking to him on the phone. She felt so bad she let him go. He could barely talk this week.
2nd down, 8. Here comes Marshall again on the option. He'll pitch it to Searcy. Got a cut block there on the flat from Lynch. And got a couple more yards, but it's still going to be 3rd and a pretty healthy 6 or 7. Georgia Tech's 0 for 3 on 3rd down. There's a look at Stoudemire, the linebacker.
Well, Darius Jackson is the guy that all the lights are on. Everybody's looking at number 40, and he's showing up here early. But you turn on that Chattanooga tape from last week, another guy that stands out right there, 35. He's made the last 2 plays for this Gamecock defense of Jacksonville State. Good angles, good solid tackler. I like watching 35 run sideline to sideline. Let's see if this defense can get off the field now.
Marshall going to look to throw here. Taquan tucks it away. Going to run here to the near side. One fake, and then Stoudemire shoves him out of bounds. But Marshall reached out, James, and I think he may have gotten the first down. He did. What an outstanding effort here.
Whatever it takes. Good job by the offensive line to give him enough time. And he's going to use his legs. Nobody's there. Tuck it and go. Put that ball in the outside arm, though. Be careful. If you fumble and it's in the outside arm, it's got a lot better chance of going out of bounds. You keep it inside. That's where all the action is. You can lose it and cough it up, turn it over, and hurt your team. But a first down to move the sticks.
Georgia Tech's first 3rd down conversion. Here's a quick pitch to Benson and a play in space by Hagler off the strong side. He'll take Benson down back toward the 46-yard line. That's a loss of 3, so Georgia Tech off schedule now with just ahead of 5 minutes to go first half.
You haven't seen many missed tackles in this defense. It's a physical, it's a good tackling, fundamentally sound for Coach Blackwell.
James, they were number 1 in the OVC a year ago in all 4 team defensive categories. Total, run, pass, and score. Here's Marshall, wants to throw, sets, and will airmail it over the top of Lynch, but a flag is thrown in here. And Rashad Green in coverage against Clinton Lynch.
against number 5. 10-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Saran Neal. Oh, against Brad Stewart. Wow.
I think Stewart, you know, in pre-game, there hasn't been a lot of rain in Atlanta, has there? It seemed like the field was coming up a little bit in pre-game, getting chewed up. It looked like Stewart just lost his footing. That's a tough one.
Georgia Tech, the beneficiary of the penalty. 1st and 10 now, just inside the Gamecocks 45. Marshall on the follow play. Gets 5, maybe 6 before Stoudemire, who came into today with 9 career tackles for loss. He had 4.5 last year to show you how productive he was in their opener against Chattanooga a couple weeks ago in Montgomery. Good football player.
Good job by the offensive line. The initial surge, getting down low, and you see there why not all these quarterbacks, even the ones that come to Georgia Tech, like to go right up the middle on that quarterback follow, the inside, and bang it up a little bit. Hard hitting. Oh,
here is Benson on the little counter give. And Taquan Marshall took a big lick there as he turned and handed it to Cravante Benson.
That is why you have a hard time. You know, some of these things that work, the option in the NFL, you have a hard time justifying. There you see the ball at the end of the run. What we didn't see, though, was the shot that Marshall took.
James, he's coming out.
Yeah, big time lick.
Matthew Jordan comes in.
3rd and short.
Yep. Jordan wants to keep it, and he will be a yard short. Stopped at the 36. If you followed Paul Johnson's career in coaching, particularly his 9 years in one game here, you're not going to be surprised they're going for this. They've got to break the plane of they've got to probably get to the 34 here to keep this alive, don't they, James? 1.5 yards?
Yeah, it's not just the 35.
Jordan stays in at quarterback. They'll snap it, and they won't get there. Jacksonville State holds Georgia Tech on downs with 2.5 to go. So on 3rd and short and then 4th and short, the Gamecocks of John Gross hold the rope. And they lead the Yellow Jackets 7-3 at Grant Field.
When I grow up, I want to plant a garden for the whole world. There'll be flowers, vegetables, fruit, and even lima beans.
We all grow up, but I didn't give up on dreaming big. Here at Coke, my team and I push each other to find new natural ways to feed a growing world. You know, it's a serious challenge, but I've been preparing my whole life.
20 more years of this job? Yikes. My kids say, go for it, Mom. Be that woman who does what she loves, knows what she wants. Yay, Mom's gonna go for it! Except I don't have a clue where to start.
Hey, we hear you. That's why AARP has resources to help you navigate the job market. We'll connect you with employers that value your experience and provide tips and tools to find work you love.
If you don't think this is right for me when you think AARP, then you don't know ARP. Get to know us at aarp.org/possibilities.
A big 4th down stop to get off the field for the defense. Watch here. That's marvelous Jonathan Hagler. This is on 2nd down on that series. Boom. There's the big pop, a clean lick. That's what you do when it's a triple option. All these things that can happen. So you eliminate Taquan Marshall. See how many shots he wants to take like that. He didn't come back in on that series. The backup came in for him, and Matthew Jordan unable to convert. So here comes Jacksonville State.
And DeMontez Terry, redshirt junior Birmingham, gets him started with the catch from Horn out to the 40. So John Gross trying to guide his Gamecocks to a 2-0 start. Already the number 5 team in FCS. They were semifinalists last year, beat by the national runner-up Youngstown State at home. And off to a good start. And here's Thomas going back to work. First down, out near midfield goes Rock Thomas. And the Gamecocks have got to love two things about this first half, James. One, they've been able not just to run it well, but throw it when needed. And number two, they're holding the football. Keeping it out of the hands of Taquan Marshall and Georgia Tech.
Boy, if they can pay off that fourth down stand by their defense and get some points on the board, you talk about momentum going into the halftime locker room here in Georgia Tech's house.
Here's Horn throwing it, intercepted. And this is Lawrence Austin. Back to the 31 on the pick.
But momentum swings both ways, doesn't it? There's the route in Austin the whole way. It didn't take a whole lot of guessing. He knew exactly when Horn was rolling out that way where it was. Gift wrap for him. And shoot, if it wasn't for his own guy, he may be standing in the end zone celebrating right now. Big turnaround.
21-yard return. And the junior back in at quarterback. Here's the pitch. And around the corner goes J.J. Green. Boy, he knocked Neal to the turf and then bounced it for a couple of more yards toward the 25. We'll see where they spot this.
Physical. Boom.
Oh, man. Look at the camel work by my man, Joe Bowie. Catching that one from the cart, James.
Joe Bowie's doing it all. He even took still photos in pregame. Paul Johnson photobombing us.
Gain of 5, 2nd and 5. Slot set. Here's Marshall pushing it to the right. Wants to cut it loose for the end zone. Ricky June and a flag. We'll see if it stands. It might be pass interference on Reggie Hall.
I think it has to be pass interference. Never turned around. Wasn't in terrible position. But when those receivers' eyes get big, got snapping
Pass
around.
Interference. Defense, number 6. Penalty decline. The play resulted in a touchdown.
Good protection once again for Marshall. June knows exactly what's going on. At one point, flip that head around. His eyes get big. His hands are going up for a reason defensively. June keeping him off of him, focusing. That's a great big turnaround, and that's not the way you expected it to end in the second half. A big turnover to get it started.
Here's Davis to try and make it a 10-7 game. Wow, the turnover pays dividends. The interception by Lawrence Austin, and then just a couple of plays later, Taquan Marshall throws it 27 yards for the score, James.
You know, and there hasn't been a lot of pressure. Marshall, as we've seen when he tucks it and wants to run, he can scoot. But there's been plenty of time for him. Good job by the offensive line. Jacksonville State just bringing the defensive lineman there. No blitz called.
Well, and Ricky June, who had 2 catches for 55 yards on Monday night and only 1 touchdown last year, has his first of 2017.
Sometimes the snow comes down in June.
Davis will kick it away. Hall is deep with DeMarcus Flowers. And the wind starting to whip around here in Midtown Atlanta as we play on this afternoon. And so Davis will re-tee. End over end kick, and Flowers will watch it go out of bounds before the pylon. So Jacksonville State now, James, 2 timeouts and a minute 20. And a minute 20 to go in this first half. All started by Lawrence Austin.
Absolutely. Horn rolling, looking at one guy the entire time. Made it easy on Austin to go step in front of it and pick it. and then put it up top. Why not? You got the junior back out there after he missed a couple snaps with the injury. And Ricky June focusing on that football and pulling it in for the first touchdown of the afternoon.
Well, our forecast here at Grant Field brought to you by our friends at North Myrtle Beach. And, of course, the wind east-northeast at 18. And this is the early effects of what is Hurricane Irma working its way toward the South Florida coast today. Here's Thomas. He'll get 5.5 on first down. Brentavious Glenn, a sophomore in the defensive line, makes the play. And, boy, Rock Thomas wants the rock, James.
Churning. Watch those legs churning. He gets about 3 or 4 extra yards after the initial contact, and they're getting a little bit chippy.
We saw Travis Homer last week with that forward lean. Rock Thomas also gives you that lean for yards, doesn't he? Horn, a little soft toss. Here's Thomas rerouting, and boy, took a lick, but it'll be a first down. Victor Alexander came in there and knocked him around. And John Gross is going to let him mark the first down, start the clock. He's got 2 timeouts left. Goes with the slot set. Got his tight end Barry in the formation. They give it to Thomas. No, Horn kept it. Fooled Georgia Tech and fooled me. First down toward the 43 for Brian Horn. And now a timeout taken by John Gross with 13 seconds left. Well done by Horn, who's had a lot of success on this read play.
Absolutely, but you'd like to see a little bit more sense of urgency on that last snap. They got up and got lined up, and about 8 or 9 more seconds ticked off the clock. Now they're down to 13.
Yeah. Well, he's got 1 to go, and they're going to measure here as we wind our way down to the end of this first half.
A.J. Gray will have to come out of the game. His helmet came off, and it was a timeout used by Jacksonville State, not Georgia Tech. So you can't take advantage of that timeout either. What is that, yes or no? Look close, you lean it one way, and give it to him.
Call it what you want, but Jacksonville State's battling the clock here, James. If you throw it, you better hope a guy can get out of bounds.
Well, that's what I was saying. Last snap.
Right.
It's got to be ready to go, or at least use that timeout.
They'll put Sanders and Terry along with Trey Berry, the tight end, on that left side. And they bring Davidson, who was the intended receiver on the interception by Lawrence Austin, here to the near side. Thomas in the backfield with Brian Horn. They give it to Rock Thomas, and he'll go to the 40. And the last timeout is taken with 6 seconds left. Well, we started this day with the teams exchanging punts, and then Taquan Marshall avoided a turnover. Nathan Cottrell got chased down, all because of Jackson, the outstanding defensive end. Georgia Tech had a field goal. Jacksonville State got a touchdown pass, and then moments ago, Lawrence Austin the interception, and 2 plays later, Taquan Marshall finds Ricky June for the score, and Georgia Tech's in front. And so now with just 6 seconds left and out of timeouts, Jacksonville State, James, from here it would be a 57-yard field goal. The longest for Stinnett in his career is 48. The longest he's ever attempted is 49.
We'll give him a freebie with a penalty here, Georgia Tech.
And now Paul Johnson wants a timeout. So Stinnett, who hit a 31-yard field goal at UTC and has made 5 kicks in a row if you go all the way back to November of a year ago. But even then, the longest he made was 43 yards.
Well, even though Irma's coming from the south, wind's blowing. It's a nor'easter right now. Yeah, it's blowing from the north right now, and it would be at the back of Jacksonville State.
Yeah, but you're talking about a guy whose career best is 49, and it's 8 more yards behind that right now.
Yeah, but it's Irma. Hurricane weekend.
There's Stinnett, junior redshirt, Enterprise, Alabama, who's 15 of 22 in his career. Jacksonville State is out of timeouts now. 6 seconds left. Could be the final play of the half. Play clock at 10. Georgia Tech only rushes 3. Horn's going to keep it. And he runs out the first half clock. So we get to halftime in Atlanta. John Gross and Jacksonville State couldn't get the clock stopped after Horn's play, and time expires. Georgia Tech's taking a 3-point lead to the locker room. 10-7.
A little bit of meat off this bone right here on this second down and 12.
Quentin Lynch in motion. Here's Marshall in trouble. Jackson had him and slowed him down for the play by Hagler. Darius Jackson caused all of that for Jacksonville State.
Jackson's going to chase him down. Here you go. There's Darius Jackson. And you don't account for him because you're running away from him. But he covers so much ground, flips it back around, and marvelous Jonathan Hagler there to clean it up. And there's Darius trying to get the hometown, or his hometown crowd going, those that traveled over from Alabama.
3rd and 18. Marshall going to throw for June. Ricky June the catch. Flag on the play in the middle of the field as Ricky June scores.
Defense number 2. The penalty will be declined. The play results in a touchdown.
Taquan Marshall had 5 rushing scores on Monday night down the street. He's thrown for 2 today, James.
Well, Wes, defensively, you've got any team on 3rd down and forever. There is nothing that hurts you more. Just as a coaching staff, it just crushes you to not get off the field when you've got them in 3rd down and very long, especially an offense that has had trouble converting the big, long 3rd downs, even in this first half.
And Davis's point after is good. 3 plays, 16 yards, $150. After doing it by land on Monday night, he's doing it through the air today.
When I grow up, I want to take old stuff I find and turn it into something amazing.
Back then, making the next big thing was a challenge. Today, it's my job. Here at Coke, my team and I recycle cooking oil into renewable biofuels. It's a real challenge finding new ways to create energy, but I think I was born for this.
20 more years of this job? Yikes. My kids say, go for it, Mom. Be that woman who does what she loves, knows what she wants. Yay, Mom's gonna go for it! Except I don't have a clue where to start.
Hey, we hear you. That's why AARP has resources to help you navigate the job market. We'll connect you with employers that value your experience and provide tips and tools to find work you love.
If you don't think this is right for me, when you think AARP, then you don't know ARP. Get to know us at aarp.org/possibilities.
In town, Atlanta. There's a look at your Saturday afternoon.
Those are all my homeboys coming up from Florida.
They're in the right lane. On the left is the folks going south. 2 turnovers by Brian Horn on interceptions have been cashed in by Taquan Marshall. And Flowers will let that go over his shoulder. It gives us a chance for this afternoon's Jimmy John's freaky fast play. Taquan Marshall is Been out here slinging it today, Batesy.
Freaky fast with his legs. And Ricky June found him once and finds him twice. Ricky June, couple good moves after the catch. He's 6'3". Neal there against him, 6'1". That's freaky fast.
Yeah, Buzz. Before the ball game, kicking it in overdrive. All right, so let's see how John Gross's Gamecocks respond here. Down now 10 points early in the third. Play fake. Brian Horn fumbled the ball, and Georgia Tech's got it. Horn, who had great success in the first half on the read option, coughs it up, and A.J. Gray recovers.
Well, turnovers are what cost him the win to open the season against Tennessee on Monday night. Turnovers have helped him in a huge way here today. And nobody there to knock it out, just slipped out of the hands of Horn. And one more time, Marshall and the offense back out on the field for the Jackets.
Here's Marshall looking toward June again. Flag on the play and overthrown with Neal defending for the Gamecocks. And this might be a hold against Saran Neal. Flag at the 18.
Holding, defense number 5. Holding an eligible receiver. It's a 10-yard penalty. First down.
Well, he felt like he was beaten. You got to do what you got to do. Live to play another down. And I mean, who can blame him? It's been a rough go, and find something that works. And how about the Paul Johnson calling it out there? Sudden change. Let's go up top. It's working. Let's stay with it.
Here's Marshall. Kervonte Benson sidesteps one guy, and then the Red Hats arrive for the Gamecocks. Well, they caved it in. Jacksonville State got big. 56, Connor Christian. 6'3", 280-pound redshirt junior from Dallas, Georgia. He's hard to move out of there. Second down and 8 now for Georgia Tech. Jackets were -2 takeaway giveaway the other night, James. They've cashed in on 2 turnovers already, looking for a third here. Marshall will keep it, and Jackson pulls him down. Darius Jackson is all we heard and more. My goodness, what a play.
Here you're going to see, and again, watch him flatten out. Play away, he's still a big part of it. He's not just there to manage the cutback. He's got to be careful with that right hand. Brought it up around the neck of Marshall. So now to get a flag thrown.
Now 3rd and 9, James.
Marshall's up top here.
Yep, and we got a flag and procedure on Georgia Tech. We were talking about this leading into the ball game, Batesy. Jackson plays in that 2-point stance. You were talking the other night. Tennessee also played in a 2-point stance.
Start. Offense, number 53. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
As you hear the penalty against Georgia Tech, the interesting part is Jackson is able, with his athleticism, to negate any kind of block that Georgia Tech has thrown at him so far today.
Well, and you know what's interesting? I talked to Paul Johnson before the game. You know, hey, how do you approach Jackson? He goes, well, we just run our offense. We're not going to run away from him. But when you do run away from him, that's when you get hurt the most. You almost want to go right at it.
Marshall on a straight drop here. Pumps to his right, tried to make a throw of it, got it near the line of scrimmage, out of the tackle box, so it will not be intentional grounding.
Outside the tackle box. Ball went beyond the line. Incomplete pass.
Yeah, tackle box looked just fine, but what was kind of close, West, was that line of scrimmage. But no flag.
Well, here's Davis now to attempt what'll be about a 40.5-yard field goal. He hit earlier today from 34. Kick is away from Davis, and it's good. So the Sean Davis field goal and a flag down. Personal foul, and Georgia Tech gets new life.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker, number 5, defense. 15, half the distance to the goal, first down.
Drive is alive.
They'll take it back off.
Yep.
They called it on 5. That's Neal coming from the bottom.
Wow.
There's a difference between a running into the kicker and a roughing the kicker. And gosh, that's a tough one. You're diving at that spot just like you're taught to do. But you got to protect those kickers and the legs. Good job again to connect. So it's a good day special teams wise for Georgia Tech, and you needed that bounce back. Let's see now, rolling the dice, taking points off the board if it works.
Weimer-Skirsch is the B-back. Quade Weimer-Skirsch out of Pace, Florida, for a couple of yards on the 1st and 10 at the 12. He played briefly on Monday night, spelling Vincent at the B-back spot. Paul Johnson talked to us yesterday about Jerry Howard, a freshman from Rock Hill, South Carolina, potentially seeing some action today at B-back. That has not happened as of yet. Along with some other guys who they wanted to get in, younger guys they're going to count on at some point during this campaign, especially with these 3 games in the first 12 days.
He's high on those young backs, those young quarterbacks as well.
Marshall on an exchange from Cooper. Fumbled it and fell right back on it, so now all of a sudden it's 3rd down and 9.
You know, inside the mind of Paul Johnson, who never saw a 4th down on the other side of the plus side of the 50 that he didn't like. So it doesn't surprise anybody that he takes the 3 points off the board, but that ball isn't falling on immediately by Marshall, and you give up 3 points that could be huge when it's all said and done. A lot of football left to be played. You like the aggressive nature, but bird in the hand, 2 in the bush type of deal. Let's see if they convert.
Here's Marshall rolling back out, sets, throws for the end zone. Green, the touchdown catch.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 93 defense. The touchdown will stand. The 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
93 got him, 40 got him. 93 is where you get hurt with the big weight that's coming down on you, and plenty of time. And just in a secondary, a couple times it has looked lost back there trying to cover these receivers. So it does pan out, and you get 6. Now 7.
Well, nope. It's 6 because Davis's point after bounced off the upright. It's a 16-point game, 25 yards in penalties on Jacksonville State. But the Jackets take 6 plays and J.J. Green cashes in.
I want to make cars fly. I love turning old stuff into something amazing. I want to plant a garden for the whole world.
We grow up, but we never stop dreaming. Here at Coke, we challenge ourselves and the status quo to produce innovations like renewable fuel, more energy-efficient vehicles, and food for all. Because what drives us most is challenge itself.
20 more years of this job? Yikes. My kids say, go for it, Mom. Be that woman who does what she loves, knows what she wants. Yay, Mom's gonna go for it! Except I don't have a clue where to start.
Hey, we hear you. That's why AARP has resources to help you navigate the job market. We'll connect you with employers that value your experience and provide tips and tools to find work you love.
If you don't think this is right for me when you think AARP, then you don't know ARP. Get to know us at aarp.org/possibilities.
All right, big touchdown for Paul Johnson's troops. Take a look here. Here's Williams, the safety for Jacksonville State. Very physical guy. You're going to see Green. Go ahead and pause it right there. And he's going to get a feel for him. He's got his eyes on him, but then he peeks back at him. And rather than just kind of trusting and feeling and looking at that quarterback, takes his eyes off the quarterback. A nice zip by Marshall.
Davis hits it off the upright from midfield after the roughing the quarterback penalty. So still 23-7, and turnovers here, James, have really been a story.
Absolutely. 20 points scored off of those turnovers. Austin getting it started, and there's the payoff to June, who had 1 and then 2 after this interception by Durham. And you got to like the way, too, even though it's been a secondary for the Gamecocks that has been lost at times here today, the way that Marshall's slinging this football. And it's only given him more and more confidence to see all these touchdowns end up. And there's the last one by Green. Extra point was no good.
Horn going to keep it again. And he will pick up 3 to the 28. Brant Mitchell, the linebacker, the stop for Georgia Tech. So the Jackets have taken 3 turnovers, and James also been a beneficiary of a couple penalties, 25 yards worth of them in that last drive to the Gamecocks.
Mitchell with a nice game against Tennessee, playing against his old homeboys. He's a Knoxville Webb graduate, same high school in Knoxville, Tennessee that Chad Pennington went to, and a nice start to this. In the first half, he led all tacklers. That's a linebacker for Ted Roof.
Montez Terry in motion. Thomas nowhere. Jackets are right there, and that's Henri St. Amour. Best play they've had on Rock Thomas today, James, in the run game.
Well, don't let him get going. He gets a full head of steam, and he's so tough to bring down. Stop him before he starts. They do just that. Again, penetration, and winning the battle up front in the first half. For the most part, the guys in red. That time, there was a bunch of guys with the golden domes on.
3rd in the full 10.
Huge play for this offense. They've got to stop the bleeding. Make something good happen here.
Horn looking. Nobody home. St. Amour sacks him. Pretty good coverage on the back end to prevent that one, James.
Absolutely. Plenty of time. The pocket. Nice little pocket there for Horn. Finally, it collapses on him just because nobody could get open for him, and he's a little bit leery of letting it fly now after the 3 turnovers. 2 interceptions in the fumble. St. Amour, a couple big stops on that drive.
Brad Stewart ready to take the punt of Dean Kelly. Stands at the 46 of Georgia Tech. Kelly chases Stewart back. Off the 37, first guy missed, second guy got there. Well done on special teams for Jacksonville State. So Georgia Tech, who's punched in 2 scores off turnovers, here in the second half, gets the ball back when we continue.
It's Saints, Vikings, then Chargers.
I want to make cars fly. I love turning old stuff into something amazing. I want to plant a garden for the whole world.
We grow up, but we never stop dreaming. Here at Coke, we challenge ourselves and the status quo to produce innovations like renewable fuel, more energy-efficient vehicles, and food for all. Because what drives us most is challenge itself.
20 more years of this job? Yikes. My kids say, go for it, Mom. Be that woman who does what she loves, knows what she wants. Yay, Mom's gonna go for it! Except I don't have a clue where to start.
Hey, we hear you. That's why AARP has resources to help you navigate the job market. We'll connect you with employers that value your experience and provide tips and tools to find work you love.
If you don't think this is right for me, when you think AARP, then you don't know ARP. Get to know us at aarp.org/possibilities.
Well, we can show you a lot of things about the way the ball game's unfolded, but James, the premium stats right now are turnovers and penalties.
Well, absolutely.
Schools.
I mean, how many times you say it? Broken record about the turnovers in this Tennessee game. They hold on to the football. Georgia Tech, they win that game going away. Just stop themselves. Jacksonville State Now doing the same thing, imploding.
There's the true freshman we spoke of earlier. That's Jerry Howard out of Northwestern High School in Rock Hill, South Carolina. His first collegiate carry, Rebecca.
Well, you'd think being up 23-7, Tech would be happy, but the offense is really not. Taquan Marshall on the sideline saying, guys, we can't just pass the whole game. We got to get our running game going. We only have 85 rushing yards. That's not good enough. They're going to figure that out real quick.
How about that? Leave it up to a Paul Johnson coach quarterback to be upset when you're not running it enough. It's been a while since they've thrown 3 touchdown passes around here.
Howard stays in the game at the B-back spot. And he'll get the call. Jerry Howard, second collegiate carry. And he scores. 3,700 yards. He had 39 games in high school for 4,400 all-purpose yards and 53 scores at Northwestern in Rock Hill, James.
Wow. It doesn't even take an all-star in high school, a speedster like that, to make something happen when the offensive line opens up that defense for you. Great big gap, a great job by the offensive line firing off. And Rebecca, I think Taquan Marshall got his wish there.
Point after is good. And our Z-Max performance play belongs to the young rookie from Rock Hill.
Just blew him off the ball up front, and then it's off to the races. Well, just pregame. We talked about the freshmen. A couple freshman quarterbacks that eventually Paul Johnson would like to see a little bit of. And Jerry Howard, another one that he's really high on at the B-back spot, getting involved.
Welcome to college football, Jerry.
Yeah, but then again, it's pretty close to college football over there in Rock Hill, South Carolina, from what I hear. And you look at the big names that have come out of that area.
Yep. Tell you what, when Coach Johnson talks about a young freshman that he's excited about, usually means he might be pretty good.
Yeah.
Davis's kick, and Terry will touch a knee. Well, we're headed to Brooks Field and the venerable Horseshoe on the Duke campus next Saturday. Big 12 and ACC don't get hooked up very much in non-conference play, James. We'll get a look at the Duke Blue Devils and the Baylor Bears at 12:30 on your regional sports network. And we will settle in with the sophomore quarterback, Daniel Jones, who is having quite a day and trying to help the Blue Devils get Northwestern today in a Big Ten ACC showdown. One of a couple on the card.
They were up early. Baylor, of course, losing their opener to Liberty, 48-45. Yep. They've got Texas San Antonio, UTSA, the Roadrunners, later tonight.
Duke leads 31-10 in the second half. And Jones has thrown for almost 300 yards today for the Blue Devils, as you see Rock Thomas pick up 5 on first down for Jacksonville State. Antonio Simmons stopped there for Georgia Tech. Excited to see Daniel Jones and the combination of Wilson and Brown at the running back spot.
Did we not have Wilson's
oh yeah, we did.
breakout game when he was a freshman?
Yes, sir.
Well, that's gone fast.
Horn gets nothing on second down. Well, I think we're a little more distinguished, James, as we move into our careers, right?
Speak for yourself.
Well, okay. Yeah, I'm the one over 50. Saw the great Georgia Tech All-America Ken Swilling during the break, who's got a relative on this roster this year, and I said, "Well, how does it make you feel?" He goes, "Well, we can't say we're old yet, right?" I said, "No, you can say you're distinguished." 3rd and 5 for Jacksonville State. Horn empties the backfield. Looks, hit as he throws, took a big lick, and it got batted down by Lance Austin, and it was Brant Mitchell who cleaned out Brian Horn, and a marker went down over on the far sideline. I think we're going to have pass interference on Lance Austin.
They kept the blitz on, and Mitchell, boy, does he ever pop. Here's a look at the lick that Horn takes. It's a clean shot. Good job by Mitchell to stay low. And here's the back end of it. A little bit of grabbing back there, and the flag comes in.
Shaq Davidson, the intended receiver. Oh, you linebackers, you guys love that shot, don't you?
I like watching that guy. It was fun to watch him, knowing playing against his hometown where he grew up there in Knoxville, played at Knoxville Webb. So that's 6 penalties now for Paul Johnson's team.
Thomas gets 4 on first down. Mitchell, another tackle for Georgia Tech. He had 71 of them a year ago, did Brant Mitchell. 2 interceptions, 3 for loss. We approach 4 minutes to go here in the third. Georgia Tech's got 3 touchdowns on 3 possessions, 2 of them off turnovers by Jacksonville State. Give to Thomas, trying to slip through the left side, and Mitchell traced him down. Well, John Gross talked about rattling the chains, James. They tried to overcome now these turnovers and a 3 and out in their third possession. They've been able to pick up a couple of first downs here on this 4th drive of the half, but now you need to convert a 3rd, and you're 2 for 5 today.
6 is flanking Horn. Watch where Thomas is. Get your eyes on Rock Thomas.
Horn going to keep it. And he will have the first down. Broke the plane of the 45. So Jacksonville State gets a fresh set of downs. Brandon Adams, sophomore in the defensive line, along with Mitchell to stop.
Well, it's assignment football once again, just like you hear when you're defending Georgia Tech. You hear it all the time, and people go flying out of there trying to respect number 6. He's the playmaker. He's the guy we got to watch and keep an eye on. Good job, good read by Horn. Tuck it, go get just enough to move the sticks.
In the gun, here's Thomas. Cuts back. And boy, Rock Thomas, a great run. 12 yards for Thomas. Good blocking, James, and great moves from Thomas.
Absolutely. Guys up front. Look at the big man up front getting up and moving around. Big 79, B.J. Autry goes 340 plus. You really got to be patient. That's one thing. Thomas looks like he's a little bit hurting going over there to the sidelines, but you got to be patient, especially when you got a 350-pounder pulling in front of you.
Terry comes in the ball game to spell Thomas. Here's Horn. Wants to air it out, looking for and catching the ball is Sanders. Touchdown catch earlier for Crenwick Sanders. And now he sets up first and goal for Jacksonville State.
Well, he's had a couple of rough passes, and it makes him look like a linebacker still, but then you're reminded by a couple of these, like the touchdown pass to Sanders earlier, and this one here, it's as pretty a ball as you'll see thrown all day on Saturday in college football. It's just got to get some consistency. Reps maybe as a starter.
Thomas stays out of the game on first and goal. Horn will keep it on the read and make it to the 5-yard line. A.J. Gray comes down hard in the box to make the stop on the Jacksonville State quarterback, Brian Horn.
Yeah, he does. What is it that Ted Roof told us last year? A.J. Gray said, yeah, he's not always the prettiest in his pedal or coming out of his brakes, but when he hits you, he drops you. He brings you down, and you can just see that initial lick. He just brings a nice thud whenever he's in on the tackle.
2 tight ends to the left. A pair of receivers here for Horn on second and goal. Play clock at 3. They get it snapped. Hand to Terry. Wow. Goodness, Brandon Adams.
Woo. Brandon Adams. All up in my grill. Man, how'd you like to feel that? just want a chance. Rock Thomas is running the ball hard. You get a chance to spell him. That's penetration for you. And that's a big man moving fast.
Number 1 defensive tackle coming out of Brentwood Academy south of Nashville. There's Rock. 3rd and goal. Horn wants to throw, hit as he does, and overthrows Sanders. All right, John Gross. James, it's 30-7 with 6 seconds left to go in the 3rd period.
There you go. Let's take a look at it one more time while we got a chance. You can't just not block them, and if you're going to try to clean them off with the back, you better get there in a hurry. You can't just let the dogs loose on your guys in the backfield.
27-yard try for Stinnett. And the kick is good. Jackets came within a whisker of that one. It looked like Branch almost got to it. So Jacksonville State's on the board. Final play of the 3rd period in Atlanta. Georgia Tech has taken advantage of turnovers and nearly a plus field start. Ricky June has got a couple of touchdown catches. Marshall has thrown for a 3rd to J.J. Green. We'll continue from Atlanta. Final 15 minutes coming up next.
The Hardys.
I want to make cars fly. I love turning old stuff into something amazing. I want to plant a garden for the whole world.
We grow up, but we never stop dreaming. Here at Coke, we challenge ourselves and the status quo to produce innovations like renewable fuel, more energy-efficient vehicles, and food for all. Because what drives us most is challenge itself.
I'm like a sponge for this stuff. I can learn it, get it, sell it. I can do this job in my sleep better than some people can do awake. I just want to make sure this brain stays in hyperdrive.
Hey, we hear you. That's why AARP created Staying Sharp. It's more than brain games. It's a personalized 360 approach to brain health with assessments and tools that can help you keep your brain sharp. If you don't think this is right for me when you think AARP, then you don't know ARP. Get to know us at aarp.org/possibilities.
Well, our game summary here in Atlanta through 3 periods of play. Georgia Tech leading 30-10 after the Stinnett field goal. And Jackets going about it maybe in a little different way, James, than we saw on Monday night.
Revving up the motors in the second half, huh?
Yep. Here is Stinnett. They tightened up the formation. He kicked it out of bounds. 35-yard line is where Paul Johnson's offense will go to work.
Kick out of bounds. Ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
10, Georgia Tech from the 35.
So the ball will go to the 35-yard line. The first play of the 4th period, Jerry Howard, who had the 65-yard touchdown run, stays in as the B-back. That's Lynch on the toss. Clinton Lynch around the corner. And he'll have 7, maybe 8 on first down. Guy makes a big difference when he's on the field for Paul Johnson. Clinton Lynch, James.
And a guy that always makes a big difference for those guys behind him running the rock is Searcy. He did a great job of cutting his guy on the edge. Got him down on the ground. None of those big-time runs are because of the numbers that you don't see. Guys like Quay Searcy, number 1, working so hard. Had an excellent night blocking on the perimeter against Tennessee on Monday.
Again, a tight look of the formation. They'll toss it wide. Here comes Searcy on cue from Bates, and Quay Searcy has a first down at midfield. And that time, Lynch helped him with the block.
Lee did a good job, too. Big left tackle. Got up and got moving. Down the field. Cutting them. There's that big offensive line. Shamir Devine had a nice start.
Yep. Minute gone in the final period. Another toss, boundary side this time. Lynch spins away. It'll pick up a couple. McCandless, the linebacker, along with Neal, flying through with Christian, the big 285-pound youngster coming out of the defensive front.
June got a piece of Jackson in there, just enough to slow him up so he couldn't be involved.
They brought those receivers in tight here, James, and it's paid some dividends for him, it looks like. Here's another toss, and this is Cottrell trying to get wide. He'll spin up the field. Nathan Cottrell stayed in bounds. They're going to mark him out shy of the Gamecocks 40-yard line. Reggie Hall, the corner. And now all of a sudden, Georgia Tech has played to the edges, and sometimes the 60-year-old native of Newland, North Carolina, will come at you with something totally different now.
Well, and what that does, it's got some built-in blockers right there, so you don't have to run in space and try to block a guy like Darius Jackson in space. It's a lot harder to do.
There goes Jerry Howard, and he will fight for what will be close to the first down. Montez Lang, the redshirt sophomore, Pritchard, Alabama, on the stop. This is fourth down now. And here comes Clinton Lynch with the play from Paul Johnson.
A couple plays ago, Cottrell, they say he's a pretty fast guy. He looked fast. He's legit, can go a little bit.
Yep.
They don't need speed. They just need a little bit of power right here and a few inches to keep the drive alive.
Jackets missed on their first fourth down try. And I believe they got a reach that time on Jake Stickler. But did Jackson move first off his defensive end spot?
Offside. Defense made contact. Number 40. 5-yard penalty. First down.
James?
Well, he certainly didn't think so. He has the opportunity to go back into his spot.
John Gross is upset because the announcement was that the defender made contact, which he clearly didn't. Tough break for Jacksonville State on 4th and short. Here's Marshall looking to throw. He'll choose down and find Searcy at the 15. They doubled up on June deep there, James, in the pass route.
Well, 2 touchdowns later, you got to find a way to stop the big 6'3" receiver. And a good job by Marshall. Rolling, setting his feet. Again, plenty of time and finding that nice little window. We're shutting it down as Searcy. And it hasn't been the best coverage from the secondary, but that may be exactly what you need. Get some great confidence in the passing game. Get rolling into this season through the air with some confidence.
Jerry Howard picks up a couple of yards. So now it'll be second down for Georgia Tech.
4 brings up second and 6. From the 11.
Interesting game for Paul Johnson's team today, James. They kind of checked themselves a little bit, didn't they?
Absolutely. I was honestly, in the first half, I was a little bit bummed out because I watched him on TV on Monday night. Yeah, you're fired up in the dome.
There's Marshall on the follow play. It'll be 3rd and short after he dives to just outside the 5. Bridges made the stop.
You know, I mean, it's a bunch of college-age kids. It's tough. It's tough to get over a loss like that. You got a team, a great program like Tennessee on the ropes, and you give it back to them, and there's that second effort from Marshall to bring up a 3rd down and short. So maybe not a huge surprise for everybody, but it just, Jacksonville State really came out and took control in the first half, it seemed like, on both sides of the ball.
Here's Cottrell on the edge. He'll be tripped up, and 1st and goal at the 1. Nice block by Searcy out in space. And you saw Monty Young go over there and polish off Nathan Cottrell.
There you see Searcy. Watch him up there. Just sacrificing his body every chance he gets. I like this Cottrell, too.
Yeah.
Where's Cottrell from, Wes?
That'd be East Tennessee, Coach.
Oh, man. That's all these Tennessee guys. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Tennessee guys are the toughest.
Smoking like a true Sevier County Smoky Bear. Here is Marshall on the follow, and he's in for the touchdown. Taquan Marshall, his 6th rushing score of the year. Little 1-yard plunge for the quarterback. And Georgia Tech now leads 36-10. Ten plays, 65 yards in 5.5 minutes for Marshall. And the point after by Davis is good. 4 possessions, 4 touchdowns for Georgia Tech here in the second half. The Jackets now lead 37-10. Back to Atlanta in a moment.
When I grow up, I want to make cars fly, soaring through the air like a rocket.
We all grow up, but you might say my head's still in the clouds. Because at Coke, my team and I dream up new technologies to make cars more aerodynamic, which improves fuel economy. It's a challenge, but this is what I was born to do.
I'm like a sponge for this stuff. I can learn it, get it, sell it. I can do this job in my sleep better than some people can do awake. I just want to make sure this brain stays in hyperdrive.
Hey, we hear you. That's why AARP created Staying Sharp. It's more than brain games. It's a personalized 360 approach to brain health with assessments and tools that can help you keep your brain sharp. If you don't think this is right for me when you think AARP, then you don't know ARP. Get to know us at aarp.org/possibilities.
The Crystal football from 27 years ago. Georgia Tech won the national championship, one of 4 the Institute has collected in their history. Of course, this is their 125th season of football on the flats, and their 3rd meeting all time with Jacksonville State. Sean Davis set to kick it away. Two ACC games, first 2 conference games of the year. James, today, Louisville 12 up on Carolina in the 4th quarter. Wake Forest leads Boston College by 2 scores at halftime at Chestnut Hill. End over end kick. And ball is fumbled by Hall. He'll try and scoop it up and reroute to the far side. And in trouble. And Lawrence Austin, who had a pick earlier today, makes the stop, and the Gamecocks will start from their 9 when we continue from Grant Field.
To take an ice cream truck out to practice. He said the thing is, he's looking, couldn't find an ice cream truck. One day he goes home, let this play go, we'll finish it up here.
Thomas bouncing off 2 tacklers and across the 15, 2nd and short.
So he says he goes home to feed his dog one day, and there happens to be an ice cream truck, a husband and wife team in his neighborhood. He said they probably thought I was so weird. Let me borrow your truck and take it. He drove it out on the practice field. One of his Gamecocks are hurt on the ground out there.
Yeah, that is Hunter Sosby, who, by the way, was on the field. No, that's B.J. Autry, the transfer from Baylor, 79, not 73, Sosby.
And Coach Gross said, drove the truck out, and nobody knew it was coming. And he said the neatest thing about it was seeing all of those players turn into 1st and 2nd graders all over again. He said it was so much fun, brought him so much joy. He said I didn't do it for everybody else to tell the story. I just wanted to take care of my guys, and they really appreciated it. That was nice. I don't know what was going on with those sound effects, but there was
I think I heard El Guapo.
Yeah, the rooster back there, and a police. So was he getting chased by the cops?
I think that might have been it, yeah.
Maybe he didn't get full permission for taking the ice cream truck. He just took it and went.
It was funny when, Rebecca, you brought the story up to Coach Cross the other day at our visit with him. He was a little bashful about telling the story, it seemed like.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. And the funniest part I thought was when he was driving the truck on the field and his players were thinking, oh my God, Coach Cross is going to kill whoever that is driving onto our practice field. And they're like, oh, wait a minute, that is Coach Cross. What?
Second and short as Autry makes his way off the playing field. And Horn going to throw now off this read option. Nope, he won't. Desmond Branch sacks him. Big 99. Or no, it's not Desmond Branch. It's 89. Antoine Owens.
Again, the coverage has been there throughout the day, let alone those 2 interceptions from the secondary for Georgia Tech. Good coverage at first, nowhere to go, has to step up into the pocket, and that's a great job of keeping him inside. Keep him inside those 2 big ends. Don't let him outside. Let that pocket collapse around him, and then you get pressure up the middle. You got to have it coming from all angles. You can't just have good guys rushing up the sides. You got to have it coming from the middle, too.
Horn's got to get rid of it here. More pressure coming. He'll try to slip away and cannot break free from Victor Alexander. Well, that is 3 and out for Georgia Tech defensively.
4th and 5 from the 14-yard line.
Well, they're getting after him now in the second half. So Brad Stewart will take the punt, and Ted Roos got to be happy with his defense here in half 2.
Owens even on that side. I mean, he's a big, strong guy.
There's the punt from Kelly. Stewart drifts back. Fumbled it and picks it up. And will get out of bounds and took a little extra shove from the punter Kelly, who covered it. And we got a flag here on the play.
During the kick, holding, receiving team number 9. 10-yard penalty. Receiving team will keep the ball. First down.
So they'll start back at the 33-yard line. Georgia Tech in front here in Atlanta. 37-10. Fourth quarter continues in a moment.
I want to make cars fly. I love turning old stuff into something amazing. I want to plant a garden for the whole world.
We grow up, but we never stop dreaming. Here at Coke, we challenge ourselves and the status quo to produce innovations like renewable fuel, more energy-efficient vehicles, and food for all. Because what drives us most is challenge itself.
I'm like a sponge for this stuff. I can learn it, get it, sell it. I can do this job in my sleep better than some people can do awake. I just want to make sure this brain stays in hyperdrive.
Hey, we hear you. That's why AARP created Staying Sharp. It's more than brain games. It's a personalized 360 approach to brain health with assessments and tools that can help you keep your brain sharp. If you don't think this is right for me when you think AARP, then you don't know ARP. Get to know us at aarp.org/possibilities.
Don't forget, Jeff Fichel's got ACC All Access for you coming up this week. Check local listings on your regional sports network. A look ahead to Saturday's Miami-Florida State matchup with some of the great moments from the rivalry. And James and Takeo Spikes go toe-to-toe to decide which defensive players are the Canes and Knowles all-time greatest. Well, Matthew Jordan's coming at quarterback now for the Jackets, who lead 37-10 and just ahead of 7 minutes. And Jerry Howard, the B-back, gets to work. So Matthew Jordan, redshirt junior, Jackson, Alabama, started and won the ball game at Blacksburg a year ago. And he is the principal guy now for the Jackets, spelling Taquan Marshall, who threw for 3 and ran for 1 in his work today here at Grant Field.
Yeah, with Takeo, we break down those linebackers, all the great linebackers at the U and at Florida State over the years. It's a pretty fun segment, sit there and talk great backers with Takeo Spikes.
Here's Jordan, and he will dive toward the 37-yard line, and Antonio Bostic Jr. makes the play for Jacksonville State.
In that segment, we talk a lot about Derek Brooks, who of all of them is my favorite.
Yeah.
And then earlier I was talking about the cowboy collar on Jackson and called him Derek Thomas at Alabama on my mind. But fortunately, there's a guy on Twitter that set me straight, a guy named Dick. he cleaned it up for me, yeah. So I appreciate that, Dick.
Yeah. Under 6 to play, 37-10. Georgia Tech in front. Toss to Cottrell. Tries to find the alley, gets the first down, and takes some red shirts with him toward the 45-yard line. Bridges the first Gamecock to greet him. Well, Taquan Marshall kind of backed up Monday night today, I thought, James.
He did, and you know what? He got to air it out a lot, and so he's got to be feeling pretty good. He can go set and watch Jordan go do the work here, clean it up the rest of the way. You know, try to get some rest. These guys are all, as much as they were banging throughout that game, there you saw him even walking gingerly a little bit there, but just a tough football player. And really, where Jordan can do a few things good in this offense,
yep.
I really think Marshall can do a lot of things really good in this offense.
Here is Jordan. Back to the line of scrimmage, stays in bounds after the hit by Wofford, the linebacker. Matthew Jordan is a tough customer. Paul Johnson has got Omari Jarrett coming into the ball game to bring the play. First time we have seen the youngster Jarrett, redshirt sophomore from Douglasville. There he is, 36. And the give is Weimerskirch.
You know, UCF up next for this Georgia Tech team. Just who are you looking at? And when you look at the Coastal, honestly, I had them picked behind Miami, Virginia Tech, and Pitt. I mean, but you've got the tradition. The Yellow Jackets have won 4 national titles. You said it earlier, and a Tax Slayer Bowl championship. It's actually the 100th anniversary of that 1917 title. John Heisman coached here. Yeah. Once beat a team 222-0. And if you don't believe me, ask Ted Roof. He was on that staff. And you think that's where he got his whole assignment football concept. Go where you go and do what you do from.
Right.
You think he got it from a T-shirt? No. It's Heisman. There's a big hit, Jacksonville State.
Yep.
Hashtag Hey Woody.
Joseph Roberts got in the backfield that time, James.
But the thing is like going in, I didn't know where to put it. It's like pick a quarterback. They got 4 guys that don't like to throw the ball, but when they do, they mean it. So pick one. Well, they did. And after watching Taquan Marshall and his teammates in the Tennessee game, at times here today, in that double overtime loss to Tennessee to open the season, the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, running that triple option, the cut blocks, the pitch man, the B-back or fullback, whatever you want to call them. You know, let the rest of the world just think what they want about this team, about the offense being an unproven at this level, the one that doesn't like to find itself behind schedule. It isn't built for 3rd and long, that anyone can stop with more than a week to prepare. Here's a quarterback virtually unknown, setting ACC records in the first start. Here's 656 yards versus SEC defense. Bingo.
When I grow up, I want to make cars fly, soaring through the air like a rocket.
We all grow up, but you might say my head's still in the clouds. Because at Coke, my team and I dream up new technologies to make cars more aerodynamic, which improves fuel economy. It's a challenge, but this is what I was born to do.
I love my mom. My mom. I love my kids. My job. Taking care of everybody, every day. My mom, my kids, my job. Yes. When I'm at work, when I'm at home. I could just really use some help sometimes.
Hey, we hear you. That's why AARP helps family caregivers with connections to experts and resources like our Prepare to Care guide. Because we get it.
If you don't think this is right for me when you think AARP, then you don't know ARP.
Get your free guide at aarp.org/possibilities.
State when they arrived here this morning, here at the oldest on-campus college football stadium, mind you, man. We started in the Dome. Let's finish in the Dome. And he memorized that speech. He didn't write it down. He doesn't even write down and use a play sheet. Right. All his plays.
Yeah.
He's a guy that knows it's 4-down territory when you get past midfield. He knows those kind of things. Here at Georgia Tech University.
Wait. I'm sorry. It's one of 4 schools in the country that don't use the term university in their title. Georgia Tech. Yeah.
Oh.
Here's Horn looking to throw, and he'll be sacked. Boy, the Jackets rally there. T.D. Roof, the legacy.
There we go.
Makes the stop.
Whose dad played with John Heisman, right on cue. Coached with him. There you go.
Well, I don't know who's happier, Dad or Mom Pam, who's here. I saw her before the game, or his twin brother Mick, who might be watching. He's a quarterback at Charlotte.
Ted Roof had to coach with Heisman. Look, he's always got perfect hair. Nobody has perfect hair anymore like that. That's like a period actor.
Here is Thomas, or no, Tramel Terry. That's young man who transferred from over at Georgia.
It's not Georgia Tech University.
No, sir. It's Georgia Institute of Technology.
Well, then they shouldn't be allowed to call themselves, tongue-in-cheek, wide receiver university. Sorry, Calvin Johnson, Demarius Thomas. Now, if you'll please excuse me, it's bow time. I'm going to go get some chicken. I think I got them all this time, Wes. That was tough.
Yep. There's Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Dome to dome, if you will. I like when you're challenged. Brings out the best in you.
You know, they sped it up.
Spurrier would be proud.
No, he wouldn't.
100 seconds left to go in the 3rd meeting ever. And Roof again. The roof. Oh, really?
The roof is on fire. Oh, look at him.
Yeah. It's okay, Ted. You know what, Rebecca? Yesterday, he got a little emotional talking about Monday night at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It was very, very interesting to visit with Ted yesterday. We'll go back to Rebecca in a moment. Ooh. Kelly's punt out of bounds. 48 seconds left. Well, they're losing some clock time here. 46 seconds is when they start it. Ted Roof's son, TD. A couple snaps from scrimmage and a couple of sacks here. How about that?
So is his brother still in high school?
No, Mick are twins.
Oh,
we had a meeting yesterday, right, Rebecca? We had 3 twins. Rebecca has twins. I have twins. Ted has twins. It was a little bit of a confab, if you will, baby.
It was really cool to hear him talk about going onto the field with his son in that first game. Really special moment for him. He traded in his coach's hat for that.
Yep. Well, and a nice moment for the Roof family. And Georgia Tech a false start.
5-yard penalty, first down.
The 3rd quarterback of the day used by Paul Johnson, and this is Lucas Johnson, a 6'3", 210-pound redshirt freshman from San Diego, who had 3,700 yards of offense and 40 scores as a senior out on the West Coast. And here comes Lucas on the pitch, and this is Jerry Howard around the right side. And out of bounds with 40 seconds to go. Georgia Tech on the way to level par. Jacksonville State will be 1-1. Now, James, here's the interesting part about their schedule. They now have another week off before they host Liberty. Turner Gill's team, who you mentioned earlier, beat Baylor last Saturday in Waco. So John Gross gets a little bit of momentum here off the win from Chattanooga, building to this game, and now kind of has to reset a little bit, I guess.
How about our man Mike London?
Oh, yeah, what a great win for Howard, huh?
Oh,
Vegas.
man.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, as much as we've enjoyed Bronco Mendenhall and his staff, it was always nice to see him in Virginia. Good to see him doing well.
John Gross, who had great respect for Paul Johnson as a high school coach in Alabama, tangles with the Jackets for a half today, but turnovers and penalties today give the Jackets an upper hand, and they ride big plays in half number 2 to a win. Georgia Tech goes to 1-1. They beat Jacksonville State 37-10 here in Atlanta. And the Jackets are headed to Orlando next Saturday to meet UCF.